Hey everyone, so today we're talking about layers and the right layers for you, what's going to work best, what type of layers do you need layering? So it's all about layering, all right? Now, this is a very popular haircut. As you can see here, this is what I call, the TikToker hairstyle. This whole entire haircut, as you can see in through here, has layers. And the reason it has layers all the way throughout the back, as you can see, going from shorter here all the way up to the longer top and through front here. You can see that the layers are creating a softer, balanced, fuller shape. It's actually giving the haircut life. It's giving it some movement. It's giving it some texture. If you did not have any layers in your haircut and this hair came all the way down to here, it would basically be a one-length haircut. It would be very heavy and wouldn't have a lot of movement. I get a lot of questions from people saying, oh, why does my hair stick up on the side? Or this issue or that issue. There's a lot of issues with your hair. Sometimes it comes down to your hair type. Now this mannequin has a ton of hair. However, each individual strand is so fine that I could pull it and break it off, okay? It's very fine. I can literally just snap this hair off. And yes, this is human hair. And look, I just snapped a piece. It's human hair, okay? This is not fake hair. It's human hair, and it's gonna respond like anyone's hair would. It's very straight. So if you have pin straight hair, this is going to work for you. Also, if you have curly, wavy hair, it all really is the same as far as what layers are going to do to your hair. So do you need layers? You need layers if your hair is very heavy, it lays very flat, you want some sort of movement to it, you want to go shorter into longer, you have to layer all of this hair in through here. It's going to soften everything up. If you don't, it's just going to be very heavy. You're going to have no shape, no texture. Doesn't matter male, female, longer hair, shorter hair. The more layers you have, the more it's going to have a feathered look, and the longer the layers, it's going to be a lot heavier and more weighed down. The next thing to understand when you're getting layers is how short do they need to be. So let's just take this mannequin here, for example. I'm going to lower this pretty far down so you can see this, okay? Now this is the side of the head. I'm holding this straight up like this. If this hair was all the way up to here, then it would drop that far down. So you could see that this individual strand right here, it's actually going to be falling right to where it's cut. So layers will fall as short as you cut them or as long as you leave them. If I were to leave this up here, it would fall that far down. So you could even experiment and check on your own head. Take a piece of hair when it's dry, when it's wet. I prefer dry, and just hold it up and let it drop. That's where your layer is going to fall. Now, if it's done properly, you can then hold all the hairs up and pull them out straight from the head, and you will see it all should flow and blend into each other. You should not see any harsh lines, any steps in the hair. If you do, that's simply because you have the wrong haircut. It wasn't layered properly. The next thing is, once you have determined the length of the haircut, right, what length do you want your layers to be, then it comes down to how are you going to cut them? Are you going to cut them vertically? Are you going to go, round layers where everything basically contours the head shape? That's usually what I do. When I do round layers, what I'm doing is I'm following the head shape and I'm cutting it so that it's growing out the best way possible. Another way is triangular layers where it's really short here and it goes actually shorter to longer, where this is the shortest piece here and everything else just goes out that way and it goes short to long. So it's going to be like this, a triangular shape. Okay, that works best if you have more of a rounded face. You want to kind of add some, narrow things down a bit. And then you have square layers, which a lot of people like to say for men, square layers works really well. I personally don't always do that. Square layers is where it's basically you're cutting a box. So it's up like this and very flat, and the corners are brought up to here and it goes like this. So you're eliminating the corners. It's going to be very boxy, very flat, and it's going to narrow things down quite a bit. And to me, when that grows out, it may not look the best. I personally always cut, for the majority of my haircuts, I cut it to follow the way the hair grows out from the head. because that's going to grow out in its best, most natural state. You start altering things, then that's when it gets a little bit complicated and it may not look the best. Now, it may work for a specific head shape. Some people demand and I want square layers, I want square layers, I don't want any bulking through here, I want this to be really flat and way down for my head shape. I'm like, okay, that's fine. So we'll do square layers. But layering, as you can see here, is necessary, especially for today's more modern hairstyles. You could see when I go like this, watch how the hair falls on top of itself, like that. And to style this, you go back, you can make some tweaks to it, spin it around with the palm, and all of this hair is going to then react in a way where it's all going to work into itself. Again, a very layered type of haircut. Here's another example on this mannequin head right here. You've all seen this head before numerous times. Even though this has curly hair, or actually no, the hair is straight, I've made it curly by the way I cut it and the way I layered it. Also with my product Tidal Wave. Okay, my #1 bestseller right here, shop.TheSalonGuy.com. The reason I was able to create these waves and texture, if you look, there it is. There is the layers. And you could see it falls down into its place and springs up. The reason it's curly or wavy is because of the way I dried this. But if this had no layers in it whatsoever, this hair would not be able to create that loose fluid feel and shape to it. It would literally just be so heavy and it would have no balance whatsoever. So, what layers are right for you, it all really depends on the type of look you want. It depends on your hair type. I would definitely suggest checking out your own hair and seeing what's going on with your layers. If you see uneven pieces, you just simply got a really bad haircut. Layers, it takes execution, it takes precision, and it really takes a lot of knowledge to make sure you're doing it the right way. If you have steps in your hair, that means it literally was not cut the right way, it wasn't layered the right way. Your hair should fall very naturally, and that's always what I've tried to achieve when I've done haircuts. So if you are interested in purchasing any of my products, use code YouTube20, shop.TheSalonGuy.com. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.